Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a studio reorganization video. Yeah, I wanted to do a little reorganization because, as you can see, my shelves are very messy, and I also am very keen to just finally do some stuff that's been on my list. One of them being getting my knitting machine out from under my desk, which has been living since we moved into this house. The previous house, it lived under our couch. I just really want to use it. If you don't know already, because you probably don't, I studied textiles and I worked in the knitwear industry for a few years. I was a textile technician slash knitwear designer, and I worked with some New Zealand fashion brands, and I didn't love working in the industry. I'm not like a super huge fashion-y person. I like fashion, but my fashion sense is not what's on brand, and so I just really haven't touched them in a while, but I'd love to. I absolutely love knitting. And in the last few years I've gotten into crochet. I've tried hand knitting and it's just really difficult, so I want to get back into machine knitting. But to do that I need to make some space. So my little craft area is actually the front room of our house. It's meant to be like a second lounge, but we made it a crafting space. Thank you, Byron, for being a great husband and letting me do that. But it does mean that it is also the room that you enter into when you come into our house, which currently I feel bad because it's not very clean, and it honestly isn't cleaned that often because if you're a crafty person you understand. But I am determined right now to get that done before my birthday, and I'm quite lucky that my full-time job allows me to have 1 day of leave for my birthday every year. It's a pretty cool perk. And today is not that day. That is actually on Friday. However, I work 36 hours a week, and so I have one half day every week, and that is today. It is my half day from home too. So I'm doing some work today, but in amongst my work I'm also going to clean the studio, and I'm really looking forward to it, even though this room is really cold and I'm a little bit sick, which is funny because I feel like I just got over a sickness and now I'm back into it, but that's okay. I am going to clean the studio and I'm going to bring you along with me for the ride. So we're going to talk through the plan, which means I'm gonna have to move you. The lighting is terrible, so I'm very sorry I'm now a bit yellow, but that's the downside to having this big beautiful window right here, which is also a main road, and it's also terrible. It's not great weather outside, so it's a bit dark. But the plan is that this desk here is actually my knitting table, but it's currently got my sewing machine on it. So I'd like to get rid of these two black drawers. I bought them for our last house, and honestly they're just dumping grounds. I barely ever go in them except to get my patterns. I don't really use a lot of commercial patterns anymore. Most of them are cosplay related too on top of that. So what I need to do is clean them out, get rid of all the stuff on top, and then get rid of them. And then I'm going to put up a temporary table, although I would like to get a sewing desk, like a little small one or something at some point, but temporary table which can then be my sewing space, and then I can put my knitting machines on this desk. That'd be pretty cool. On top of that I need to organize my fabric. It's messy, it's hard. I use these shelves for when I do events for my business, but the next one I'm going to be doing isn't until October, so I think I can organize my shelf and be a bit cleaner. And then also I need to organize this, which is, there's lots of string. Every time I pull them out I don't put them back cleanly. It's always going to be that way, but I would like to clean it. And then finally these shelves, they just need a slight tidy. I redid them recently, so they're pretty clean. I just need to put a few things away. That's what today's task is. Finally, which I did start on last night, is my desk. It's mostly clean. There's just a few bits, like this here is a birthday hat for my daughter, so I just need to iron that and then cut that out and get that ready, which I'm not going to make this week. Her birthday's in August, so I've got a bit of time. And then obviously just got some things over here that I need to do. So that is my goal today, is to just clean up as much as I can and then get started on this task and this task. I'm probably going to start on this task actually, because this is way more interesting and less boring, is winding all my yarn and cleaning it up. So let's do that first.
My love language is your time and attention. Won't you give some of it to me? I've been lonely lately, I've been feeling neglected, and I want you to show me. Can we get back on the same page tonight? Can we stay? And why don't you talk to me, talk to me?
I had to do a quick break to go do some actual work, but now that I've done that, I have finished my yarn wall, which I think is looking pretty good. Thankfully I've got now a cardigan on, got a scone, got my water bottle, And I'm going to get stuck into the next part, which is the top of this thing that I'm pointing to with my plate of cheese gone. So let's do that.
Let's start a conversation when you spend your time with me. You're speaking my love language. Talk to me. We don't need a translation when you spend your time with me. You're speaking my love language. My love language is your love and affection. Won't you give some of it to me? Yeah, I need you present instead of giving me presents. You're not getting off.
Okay, little update. I've cleared this one, so now all of them are empty. And I was going to get rid of both, but I think I'll just get rid of one for now because I don't have anywhere to store. You can't even open it. All my sewing patterns I'm keeping. I've gotten rid of most of them. In fact, they're in a pile over there. I think I might list them on Trade Me for $1. Get rid of the ones that I don't think are worth trying to unhaul, but yeah, it's a bit messy. I know, this always sucks when you gotta make it messier to get sorted. This one I have, which is also hard to open, it's just the way the drawers are, all of my felt, fleece, and this is like batting sort of stuff. This one is currently empty, so I gotta decide what to put in it. And then this one down here has all of my dye stuff, and I just don't have anywhere to put that yet. So until I figure that out, I think it's best to keep the set of drawers. That's the best option. Am I going to be able to put my sewing table in here? I'm not sure yet. Gotta figure that one out. I might move where everything is, so that's my next step. Well, that's not my next step. My next step is to clean this one up a little bit, list it on Trade Me, also take pictures of all of that stuff, and clean all this up. So in terms of this stuff, this is all my current projects that I haven't finished, so it's like things I want to turn into projects or finish off. I've got like Halloween banner and stuff. Those just need to find a home until I can make them. That's rubbish. Those are patterns that I need to cut up. I got some A0 patterns printed. That's cosplay stuff to sell. That's fabric I need to put away, and that's also fabric, so I need to find a home for that box. And then this one here is pattern, like clothes I like that I need to make a pattern of, basically. And that one's just paper I need to find a home for, which is paper for my business, but I'm closing my business at some point this year. So I need to figure out what to do with all that paper. Maybe Byron will want it because he's an artist. I just need to clean all that up. I need to do a vacuum, and then I need to do the fabric shelf.
Easily, oh, we get back on the same page. Tonight we can stay. And why don't you talk to me? Let's start a conversation when you spend your time with me. You're speaking my love language. Talk to me. We don't need a translation.
Okay, this is where I'm stopping for now. I have emptied one of these drawers, and I have listed it on Trade Me. I've listed my sewing patterns on Trade Me, and I've cleaned this up. This whole space is nice and clean. I've just, to be honest, put a lot of stuff in the garage because I don't know where else to put it. I'll figure it out later. I've got a whole lot of cosplay stuff I want to sell, but I just don't know the way to overcome that. And then the last thing I sort of did was clean up this area here. And the shelves, I kind of looked over them and they're pretty good. There's just a few things I need to sort out, but it's not urgent. And a few months ago I went through and I cleaned up all of my sewing stuff. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. The last thing on my list is to figure out what to do about my knitting machine and my sewing machine, which I'm not 100% sure what to do, to be honest, because I was planning on getting rid of both shelves or drawer sets, and now I don't know how to make everything fit. And I keep looking at my serger as well, which is on the ground, or my overlocker as we call them in New Zealand, and I need to find a home for that too. So I do really need to get the table out, but I kind of want to go on Trade Me and maybe try find a little table that'll fit both my sewing machine and my overlocker side by side, but then also be small enough to fit in the gap. So I think that's my next step, but also I need to go have lunch. So I'm gonna go do that and I'll come back. Also, my pile of whips looks massive. This is where I'm gonna keep all of my sewing and cosplay whips. They're not cosplay. Sewing and crochet whips. It's hard when I've got projects that are year-long projects. This one up here is my sewing, my reading blanket. So it's kind of at this standstill. This one here is a knitting project that I will finish actually when I get my knitting machine out. This one here is a jumper that I'm making out of a dress I tried to make, and I just haven't had a chance to unwind it all. It's kind of like one of those lazy projects when I just feel like unwinding yarn. I'm going to do that. And then here's just some things I need to finish off. Hopefully once I get my knitting machine out, I can make the pile a bit smaller. But for now, it's just going to stay like that. And I think it's pretty condensed. I don't actually have a lot of projects on the go. I just have a few I need to finish. That's obviously something on my to-do list to do at some point, is to finish some projects that are just sitting there. So yeah, I will come back soon.
You're speaking my love language, love language, love language. When you spend your time with me, you're speaking my love language, love language, love language. When you spend your time with me, you're speaking my love language. Oh, won't you let me in? So
I did it. I went with the table. Basically, I think I know what I want to buy, but I can't afford it right now, so we're just going to go with the table for now. It's tucked in this little corner. I've gotten rid of the one of this I want to sell, and behind it I have just a few things like the pillows, and that is the back of my knitting machine. And on it I have my two machines and my table. It does block off some of the fabric, but that's okay because it's the fabric I don't really use as much. This is all the fabric I tend to use, and it does make this little gap here quite tight, but that's okay. That's another problem for later, but I'm happy with that. I can sew there. And then finally on this section here I have my knitting machine, and finally here I have my knitting machine. I am currently missing a box which has the bit that connects to this so you can actually use the carriage. And I can't quite remember how to do this part. It's been a few years, actually 5 years since I last used it. I last used it in lockdown in 2020. So yeah, I will have to find those bits. Byron also doesn't know where they are. I've messaged him, but he can't remember. He knows what box I'm talking about though. It's a really heavy box because it has all of the heavy stuff that goes with this. But I did find the clamps, and I've clamped it to the table. It does mean when I want to use it I have to bring it forward because the carriage needs to use, like I need to be able to have space here. But it does mean I can knit, which I'm really excited about doing in front of the window. It means I can finally get back into that sort of crafting. So yeah, overall that is my room. I'm so happy with it. That is where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe. I am looking forward to doing some knitting videos. I just really love doing knitting, even though I'm really bad at hand knitting. I like knit. I think it looks a lot more professional, is not the right word, but it just looks cleaner than crochet a lot of the time. And for me personally, that's because on a knitting machine your stitches can be the same size. Yeah, so my first project is hopefully going to be the cloud cardigan that I was working on last year. We'll see how I go. I do also have to do my brother's birthday project, so I might try to do that before his birthday, which is in about a month and a week, and I'll be seeing him at the end of August, so I really need to do that soon. That's probably my first project actually. Otherwise, my craft room is looking very nice. It is still the entrance of our house. There's our front door, and there is this ugly table here now. But the table I want to get, which is a fold-out cabinet, will fit in really nicely in this spot here. It's just a bit out of my budget right now, and I've just spent a bit of money on myself for my birthday, so that's to come in the future when I can put some money aside to afford it. But I think it'll be really cool. So yeah, otherwise I'll see you guys all next time with my next video, which will be in 2 weeks because I upload twice a month. And it is my 2nd July video, which actually, also when I upload this, it will be my birthday, so maybe I will have already been crafting by then. Who knows how I'm going. We'll see. Otherwise, see you guys all next time. Bye.